Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that.
The year 2024 is looking to be Revelations year, and nobody is safe, particularly not the elites of Hollywood. Well-known people are being pulled through the headlines, and the muck just keep getting de-icer every day if you believed Katt. Williams had finished his nasty airing. Think again, he's doing laundry in Hollywood. Back at it with Steve this time. He has Harvey in his sights, but this goes beyond a celebrity feud? No, it's much more serious. We're discussing more in-depth secrets that have blackmail that has been festering for decades, treachery and gatherings that will make your head spin, so fasten your seatbelts because we're plunging into the rabbit hole headfirst. Among the most startling scandals in Hollywood. And have faith that things are going to get unkempt.
Took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Right now, if you remember the famous sit-down with Katt Williams? Earlier this year with Shannon Sharpe. That Katt didn't hold back, as you will know. Revealed one bomb after another regarding Diddy, Steve Harvey, CS, and several others. You could practically hear jaws in the listers, revealing the truth online. For years, this Katt has been alerting us. Hollywood is a perverse environment, and those in positions of authority have secrets. Make every effort to remain buried, but 2024 is proving to be the year those secrets come to light, and it's all started with Diddy and Steve Harvey.
He controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
At that interview with Shannon Sharpe, Katt made some outrageous accusations about Diddy's parties today. If you know anything about Diddy, you've probably heard the rumors whirling around his legendary mansion. Parties, and let's just say they weren't your usual industry gatherings. Katt claims that these gatherings had a dark side with events occurring behind doors closed, which would render even the most knowledgeable Hollywood insiders making even the eyebrow Katt mentioned being provided. In actuality, millions 4 times to safeguard his moral character and what he was defending. According to Katt, it went just as planned. Diddy made some rather outrageous requests and, to put it simply, the Katt had no interest in. You must tell him not to partake. Stated that P was interested in having a party, and I must tell him no.
And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap industry.
And that's all. Anyone who interprets that incorrectly knows why they interpret it incorrectly, which is a straight quotation from the chatter of the Katt. It's reasonable to say that with Shannon Sharpe, the wildfire was started by the bombshells continued to go on. In order to discuss Steve Harvey, this is where things start to get pretty intriguing.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
Steve, according to Katt, yes, it is the same Steve Harvey that we all use. Recognizing Diddy from Family Feud, a slave for many years, and why, basically consists of a few tapes that Diddy is purportedly on Steve from those. The connotation of infamous mansion parties. It's obvious that Steve has been blackmailed, compelled to remain silent and submit. Since Diddy obtained the information, and we don't. Merely discussing rumors here, Katt clearly implied the existence of video proof.
They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that?
Let's go back a bit. Just in case you weren't familiar with Steve Harvey and Diddy have a long history together. friends for many years with their relationship that dates back to 2005. Moreover, Steve's stepdaughter is more than that. Additionally, Harvey has been romantically connected to Diddy. Yes, Lori, who was spotted hanging at the age of just 22, out with Diddy, causing speculation on the relationship. But this is the point at which, even more juicy than Diddy, Lori was allegedly connected to Justin, Diddy's son. Communications, please take a moment to process that.
Stand-up comedian, entertainer, television host, family man. But most importantly,
The Hollywood insider is Katt. That he wouldn't let this one to tumble, he let go of the BOM. Steve may have in fact inspired Lori to participate in Diddy's affairs, not simply for, oh no, sweetie, this was all about holding on to. According to Steve the Katt, everything is silent. Harvey permitted Lori to approach Diddy as a component of a bigger plan that required preserving Steve's buried secrets.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Katt even stated that Steve's opinions, an ATM card, is all that Lori is, implying that Harvey's intentions were not at all paternal. But let's face it, is Katt Williams that we are discussing, and when he starts, there is no end to the shade. Diddy and Lori were seen everywhere from Cabo Sanca's back in 2019 to Italy, where the media is giddy about their adventures traversing the globe. They even had dinner with Steve and Lori's parents when Marjorie Harvey traveled to Italy. And that's where folks go, my friends. Truly began to make the connections between how would Steve be comfortable with his. A 27-year-old man is dating the stepdaughter, compared to her, particularly when that man had been connected to her romantically. Justin, the ex-boyfriend's own kid, stand up.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark.
It's the twisted type of Hollywood drama is impossible to recreate. However, Katt Williams wasn't finished merely praising Steve for being alright. In his connection with Lore, he was implying that Steve was actively complicit in maintaining silence, and at that point, the blackmail rumors began. Ed flying in accordance with Steve the Katt has been present for some of Diddy's infamous parties in the early 2000s and 1990s. And it's said that Diddy recorded him. The secret that the Katt is implying leverage that Diddy possesses years over Steve's head.
Why would you do all of that man's stuff that he did on his show on yours and then do the dude's stand-up when you go on the road?
Right now, if you believed that this would just happen once, Katts have a history of going through following Steve Harvey's feud with. Both of them have been simmering for a while. Actually, during the same interview, Sharp Katt didn't hold back while he was with Shannon. He attacked Steve, calling him a black backwoods bumpkin who is incapable of look like Mr. Potato Head and speak well. And it wasn't just what the Katt said. Steve stole something from someone, Mark Curry, the comedian, and utilized it to start a comedy called The Steve Harvey Display from the Past.
stand-up comedian, entertainer, television host, family man. But most importantly, I happen to be.
Let's take a break. Steve was accused of being interested in a second Katt, of simply taking the concept for performance by comedian Mark Curry. He starred in Hanging, his own sitcom, with Mr. Cooper as Katt. Steve claims went to a live recording of Mark's and subsequently proceeded to produce a presentation in which he performed a role akin to that of a principal who managed a school and wore a suit. The Katt didn't mince words, and the shade was genuine. In essence, he accused Steve of being dishonest and basing his career on rear ends of other people's labor.
The special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting them.
However, the Katt didn't stop there. Went in hard on the day when Steve was born. Career as well, bringing with him the reality that, according to reports, Steve Harvey retired from. After losing a comedy, stand-up comedy, Katt claims that he is fighting to Katt himself. This incident occurred in front of a 10,000-person crowd, and the cause. Steve claims that the reason he lost his pet was Steve was busted for wearing a wig. Heard that Steve's right, Kitty says. The famous bald head isn't what it seems like, and that he spent years wearing a wig, concealing the facts from all parties, and when Game was on stage when Katt called him out. According to Katt, over Steve couldn't manage the heat and made the decision to move away from the entire stand-up.
That clearly there is a criminal investigation underway and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
Steve Harvey has, of course, disputed all of this, but Katt Williams' fact still stands. He has been calling out relentlessly. After all these years, Steve looks to be in 2024. This year, he will finally receive some reason for vindication. Diddy, the man at the heart of each of these accusations, is finally having significant legal issues, and it's more than just rumors this time.
Replete with very, very serious and salacious allegations, including allegations that Combs had cameras.
The federal. Recently, police conducted a raid on Diddy's houses in Miami and Los Angeles that are looking for proof related to a significant inquiry. And what's the research regarding your inquiry? It's investigating some very shady activities Diddy has been connected to over many years, and if the claims are indeed, this might be disastrous for many people, including Steve Harvey.
Comprised.
Himself.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything.
The Katt has been giving clues, stating for some time that 2024 would be the year that the worst in Hollywood secrets are revealed, and Diddy's recent arrest, it's beginning to appear he was correct. The FBI and other law enforcement organizations are looking into Diddy for a variety of crimes, and things don't appear to be going well for the music mogul, and this is the point at which it's interesting that if Diddy fails, he won't. According to the Katt, there, going down alone, are many well-known figures involved in. Steve Harvey is among those involved in this mess.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell, right?
Here's where the similarities to the case of R. Kelly arise into action, recalling how R. Kelly's whispers were the first to fall and rumors, and then abruptly the legal system successfully caught up with him. Many claim that Diddy's situation is becoming more and more like that. Diddy. Kelly, for example, is incredibly influential figure in the music industry, and for years he's managed to keep his reputation relatively clean despite the swirling rumors. But with this investigation heating up, it appears like the law is finally catching up to him.
There are some problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
Katt has been preaching for years that these Hollywood elites aren't as untouchable as they seem. All these enormous deviants are all catching hell in 2024, Katt remarked recently, adding that it doesn't matter if you're Diddy, Steve Harvey, or any other notable name. If you've got secrets, they're coming out. This year, Katt also indicated that he's gathered data for 30 years, and he's prepared to reveal everything now. I know a lot of stuff that I shouldn't, and everyone is aware of it, stated.
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in.
Therefore, what does What does this mean for Steve Harvey? To be taken seriously, it implies that Steve could be dealing with significant fallout from his connection to Diddy's Katt has been giving months of indications that there's more to the narrative, and with Diddy currently in the legitimate target, it's just a question of before additional names begin to appear, pulled into the fray.
These charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell, right?
And remember that Katts have been talking regarding the receipts he has alluded to, evidence for all he has been saying, and if that pro is revealed in a courtroom, it might be the end of the game for A. Many people are aware of Steve Harvey's career, his family's legacy and reputation could. Everyone is at risk in this entire situation, is only beginning to take shape, but one thing, the drama between Katt Williams is evident. Diddy and Steve Harvey's relationship is far from done, and Diddy's legal issues are becoming progressively worse. The stakes couldn't be. The question is higher. How far will this proceed?
Now, so what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that?
As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released to his mansion.
This is where everything evens out. Diddy's recent arrest wasn't any more bizarre. Simply a one-off incident. It was the whispers, the result of years of rumors, with outrageous allegations eventually catching up to the man who appeared untouchable at one point. And if you believe that it's solely about him, remember that this is about the entire Steve Harvey, and the inner circle are present in the mixture. But what precisely went down, and why now?
Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same bro that hated on Bernie with this same thing.
Diddy has been ignored for some time in spite of all the scandals and headlines throughout the years, but everything arrived earlier this year. When federal agents raided, it crashed. Yes, his residences in Miami and Los Angeles. Yes, you heard correctly, several properties. Law enforcement in several locations. Agencies didn't simply approach the front door, or they arrived ready, taking Diddy's boat and arriving compounds by storm, and get this, they even detained his sons Justin and King Combs while they searched the properties. Currently, while it was later established that his sons weren't arrested, you have to wonder why did it take quite a heavy-handed operation for someone as high-profile as Diddy.
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
Yes, the southern part of New York, the same district that took down AR. Kelly is leading the investigation, and let's just say they don't play around. This is the same group that specializes in taking down mighty untouchable people who have been skirting the law. For years, they're not interested in merely slapping Diddy on the wrist. They're out to demolish an entire network, and they're using the same strategies they used to bring down R. Kelly. Now here's the thing. Diddy's case isn't simply a little legal hiccup. The charges against him are serious, including racketeering, conspiracies, and means of transportation to participate in illicit activity. Yes, it's extensive, and Diddy can face a jail sentence if found guilty. The reality of lifetime behind bars is that it tells you that the Southern District is involved. All the information you require regarding how this is big, they don't pursue small. This is the same playbook that they used Fish to strengthen their argument against Kelly, where they connected years of charges and gossip linking the dots and methods that did not allow for uncertainty.
that this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
However, this is the actual. Why has Diddy been skating by lately kicker? Many years in spite of all the crazy tales that have been circling him since. The gossip surrounding those renowned mansions. Participants in the rumors of his shady. Diddy's commercial operations have consistently appeared to win, but whatever. Altered a theory that had been circulating around, and it's juicy, let's face it. Think it's possible Diddy was playing both. There has been conjecture on both sides the entire time. For the years he has collaborated with the authorities as a sort of, think about it, informant. How has he was able to escape punishment for? The conspiracy theory carries on for so long that Diddy was aware of his involvement in some dubious company, began collaborating with the FBI or additional organizations to safeguard himself in return for knowledge that he was permitted to carry on with his extravagant lifestyle, but those around him. Another well-known brand in the for years the industry has alluded to this, stating that did he manage to stay away from major legal issues as a result of his strong those who support him.
The issue is it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
Suge claims that Diddy has been working for a long time on both sides. It would make a lot of sense if that were true. Would clarify why, even though Diddy is linked to numerous scandals, always appeared to land upright. But things have changed since then. Perhaps the authorities no longer require him. They possess all the data they desired, and now Diddy's chance to appear. The tunes.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
And it gets even worse from here. Could Katt Williams have been more insane? Yes, all along. Keep in mind Katt's been discussing the dark for years. Hollywood side, and how these large. All of the names come from a twisted game. He has alluded to a secret. Things are managed by a network, and now with did you make an arrest? It appears that the reason the Katt was talking wasn't only to I've only collected everything. Knowledge, information, and your secrets. I understand a lot of things I shouldn't, and Katt said he's, and they all know it. Stated for several months that 2024 would be a reckoning year, and now we are observing Diddy's empire break apart.
Clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
Let's not ignore the other characters in the narrative. Steve Harvey and others who have been connected to Diddy for many years. Steve's bond with Diddy has a long history, and Diddy is currently facing severe legal. You must wonder how deep the situation is. How involved could Steve be? Entangled in this mess as well. After all, Katt has been outspoken regarding Steve's relationship with Diddy, implying that for years, Steve has been subjected to blackmail. The collapse of Diddy's empire isn't. It's unrealistic to believe that the individuals near could be pulled along with him.
All right, I got to take some time to address this here.
And it's not merely conjecture. K. Williams has a reason for being, implying the part Steve Harvey played in all of. He has criticized Steve for being Diddy's inner circle members, implying that Steve went to those renowned parties and participated in activities that he'd prefer that the general public is unaware of. Katt claims that Diddy has been utilizing that filth to hold Steve accountable, and now that Diddy is only confronting the music. Only a short while before Steve's name is also drawn into the scandal.
And people get caught up the illusion of Hollywood. People really get caught up in this.
Actually, the Steve-related rumors, Harvey, are already beginning to make the rounds. Once more, with people doubting his participation in Diddy's universe. The reality that Lori Harvey, Steve's stepdaughter, had a love relationship with Diddy and then simply adds another layer to his son. Was Steve involved in that intrigue relationship in order to silence Diddy about? It appears even his own secrets Katt feels like way. And Steve might be in if he's correct. Major issues.
Do you believe Diddy is a dangerous person?
Yes.
So, what will occur next, Diddy's legal issues are only the beginning of. New York's southern region isn't renowned for being forgiving of others, and they intend to pursue Diddy with the R. Kelly has all they own. If this situation is any indication, years or longer could be needed for the inquiry, and more individuals might become entangled in. Steve Harvey is revealing the truth. As a longtime buddy of Diddy's and alleged accomplices might end up with him, facing severe repercussions as well. But let's discuss this topic in greater detail. The idea that Diddy was involved in a conspiracy. If accurate, the informant could provide an explanation why a large number of individuals in the field have being pulled downward and Diddy has remained unaltered, for example, has been criticizing Diddy for many years, implying that Diddy has been performing both sides of the dispute, assuming Diddy is indeed was collaborating with the law enforcement that would provide an explanation for his ability to maintain his empire remained intact for a long time. But if Diddy could no longer be that way in a troubled world.
And let me tell you something else. Not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied to.
Speaking of difficulties, let's get returning to the accusations Diddy is facing. New York's Southern District isn't just curious about his private life, they're pursuing his entire operation. Charges of racketeering are serious. They're intended to eliminate entire criminal companies and whether they're making use of those charges against Diddy, which indicates that they think he's been running for reasons other than. This might have to do with money for a record label, laundering illicit commercial transactions, or additional sinister actions, and if D's been a part of this for many years, but it's not. Only he is in danger, and everyone in his orbit, friends, business associates, and indeed, Steve Harvey and others could be pulled into this mess.
We all saw it posted yesterday all over our social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
This is where the similarities to the case of R. Kelly lie. Utilize RCAL to enter the Southern District. Regulations to remove Kelly, and they're using the same strategies to Diddy are. ICO laws are effective instruments because they permit prosecutors to pursue not just the person, but the whole company if they can demonstrate that Diddy made advantage of his influence and authority to participate in unlawful acts. He might be like R. Kelly and facing a life sentence. Diddy has been performing at his best, spanning many years, meaning the consequences of this case may be as significant as the inquiry progresses. More information will emerge, and there will probably be more large names being included in the discussion if, as Katt Williams points out, this is simply he has been repeating this for years, that the most sinister secrets in Hollywood are about to be revealed, and it appears like though those forecasts are coming to pass. If a Katt will be referred to be the witness in Diddy's case is still observed, but considering his calling history, Diddy and other celebrities in Hollywood, it would not be shocking if his name appeared in court.
And I hung the phone up. I went upstairs. I said, Marjorie down. I said, Marjorie, we got a problem. When I explained it to her, Marjorie started crying.
So, now the question is, if Diddy, who will come next, is declining, will Steve Harvey follow? Could we see more well-known names in line? The same fate awaits Hollywood. And how does this conspiracy actually go that deep? This story is undoubtedly far from. In the coming months, there will be wild, and as more information becomes available, we're examining the extent to which this, in actuality, scandal is.
This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
So, what do you truly believe Steve Harvey to be? Involved in everything, and has Diddy been tugging at the threads behind the scenes over the years? Or is Katt Williams simply? Let us know, in the meanwhile, if you stir the pot. Remarks till the following time, pay attention and remain inquisitive.
That's of course. There's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers.
In the meantime, keep your eyes peeled for updates, because things are heating up fast. Diddy's empire is crumbling, and it's only a matter of time before more big names get caught in the fallout. Will Steve Harvey be one of them? Only time will tell. But if Katt Williams has anything to say about it, it's going to be a wild ride.